It's been a while since I've seen you. How are you doing? I'd love to know how you're doing. If you could let me know in the comments, number one, where you're from, number two, how you're doing. And I'm actually here in Oaxaca, here in Mexico. And yeah, I know so much has been going on in the world right now, so much. But I just have three things I wanted to share with you all and to remind you of three things. But before I say that, I want to say a big thank you, dziękuję bardzo, just to everyone in Poland, all the people in Poland who are helping out. Well, I want to thank everyone in the world who's helping out everything in the situation in Ukraine right now. I've been really, as you guys know, I spent a lot of time in Ukraine, in Lviv and Kharkiv and Kiev. And yeah, I've spoken to people from there every day, checking, making sure they're okay. And I can't help but want to say thank you to Poland, to the people who are helping out people there. I'm so close with so many of you all from Poland, you already know. And thank you to everyone else in the world who's helping out there. It really means a lot to humanity, I think. And yeah, during these time periods, a lot of people ask me, Luke, what do you do? What are you doing? Can you make a video about it? And I've always have to be careful on especially on different platforms of what you say. Because if I lose the ability to speak on here, that kind of changes things a little bit. But I want to say a thank you to everyone who's reaching out and everyone who's helping out other people, doing the best that you can. And some of you all who are scared and worried about what to say, just sharing things from other people who are doing it really means a lot. Now, as I say, I'm gonna show you guys around. We're gonna go for a walk. Here in Oaxaca, I actually wrote down a piece of paper, 3 things for you guys. And I just wanted to remind you of this because I think it's something really important for you to know. And as I tell my clients, I tell a lot of you guys who are in Skills Academy, you know, like, I think that when it comes down to it, one of the things that will stress you out the most, by far, stress you out the most, is worrying about things that you cannot control. Worrying about things you cannot control. And if there's ever been a time, at least I guess there's been a lot lately in the past few years, but of things that we can't control, it's been right now. And the more we worry about it, the more you kind of stress about it, the more, I guess the easy way to say it, the more stress you're gonna have. I know so many of you guys are caring, you're empathetic. I mean, there's no way that you could possibly ever be here on my channel for this long if you didn't care about people and people didn't matter. And I just wanted to say that since you can't worry about what you can't control, that hurts, the question for real would be, what can you control? Like, what can you control right now in this situation? Like, it's crazy right now what's going on in the world, I know. And I know some of you care, some of you have huge hearts, and seeing people suffering just makes you feel like you're suffering even more than them, deep down. And what I want to do is just to remind you of that, to worry about what can you control in these moments. Like, it's number 1 on here. That's the first thing I say. You can see beautiful here in beautiful Oaxaca. And by the way, happy Women's Day to all the women out there. Happy Women's Day. They're having a little parade going on down there. Bring you guys along on my day a little bit. This is just a little bit of a drop in on the day. And I said the next thing that I want to remind you of is, are you prepared? Like, are you prepared for what's happening and what's going to happen and for what's coming? Are you prepared for it? And I say that because we can sometimes get so caught up in other people. We can get so caught up in wanting to help other people and wanting to change things that we forget we got to fix ourselves. Are we in a situation where we can help somebody? Meaning, if there's people out there who are drowning in the water, but you don't know how to swim, and you're about to go out there and try to save them, you might get sucked up in it, and then you might need saving as well. So the reminder for you is are you prepared? Can you take care of yourself? Or are you just kind of like how I used to be all the time, so worried about wanting to help other people that I sometimes put myself in situations where I needed help. And now it became worse. Like you see in the movies, like one person gets separated and someone says, I'll go out and find them. But when they go out and find them, they're like, well, now we got 2 people missing. And I wouldn't want this to happen to any of you guys here. because I care so much about you, and I know what I feel. A lot of my audience feels. Like I say, people wouldn't be here following me if you didn't care about people and humanity. So that's just the second thing I want to remind you. And then my third and final thing that I just want to remind you of, and it's probably one of the most important things, is what are your options right now? Like, I don't know where you live. I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're at in this current moment. But what are your options right now? Because I guarantee you, sometimes we just forget that we have a lot more options than we think we do. Oh, this is actually beautiful. I'll show you guys around here. This is actually really beautiful here. The question I'd be is, what are your options right now? Because there's so much going on right now in the world, and we can sometimes forget that we have a lot more options than we think. And I know probably one of the biggest questions that I hear this from you all who write me, who send me private messages, emails, all these things. You kind of forget that you have options right now. Maybe it's an option that you totally forgot about. Maybe it's a contact that you have, someone who you met a long time ago, that you forgot that, oh my gosh, I can reach out to them right now. What are the options? And if I could give you just a little piece of advice, as if this was a coaching session and you were one of my clients, I would say a lot of you guys are thinking how. You're thinking how a lot. Like how. That's probably one of the number one things that come to your mind. Like, how am I going to do it? How do I help? How do I do this? And I want you to change that how, okay? This is something I have all my clients do. All of you guys, by the way, Charmed Year people who are in my group coaching program, shout out to you all. We're going to change the how, okay? So I want you to think about all the how questions you have about trying to do things, wanting to help. And instead, I want you to change the how to who. Who? So you could be thinking right now, how do I help? How do I do this? How do I make a difference? Who? Change the question to who. So maybe the question is like, who do you need to reach out to? Who do you need to reach out to? Who could help? Who? Because so many times we have people in our life that can help us out. We have people in our life who have power, and it doesn't have to be me. Like, it doesn't have to be me, but maybe there's people who are truly supporting, I know for sure I have friends who are just posting nonstop things. Big shout out to Alex. If you guys know him, he's a really good friend, awesome YouTuber in Bali, he's continually posting things, sharing updates about what's going on around the world, especially in Ukraine. And supporting people like this, supporting people who maybe have the courage that you don't have yet. Like, just something simple, my friends. Because right now, things, everyone sees it. That's the easiest way to say it. Everyone sees it. Everybody. But just some people don't have the courage to speak out about it. And I don't want you to feel bad about that. I don't want you to feel that, just because I don't want to speak out about it and get in trouble or get someone else in trouble or put my name at risk, or maybe I know a lot of people have the fear of how people are going to look at them, how they're going to be seen. I don't want you all to feel that. And then because you feel that, all of a sudden you think like, oh my goodness, like I just can't do anything. When that's not the case. Because there's people who are reaching out, there's people who are supporting, there's people out there who are putting themselves on the line. And those are the people you can help support. Those are the people that you can help amplify the message that they are sending. If you don't have the courage to do it, what if you found the people who did have the courage and you helped support them? What if you help and reach out to those people and just ask if they needed anything? I know for a fact, for me, I always used to think that I could just do everything alone and do things on my own and I'd figure things out, I'd be fine. And so many times I was just struggling myself. I was struggling, especially early on in my career on YouTube, really struggling to figure out oh, here we go, the parade is even up here. Because here it's National Women's Day, and also here is something even more important. It's even a deeper reason, I think, here. But I know early in my YouTube career, when I was thinking about just the finances that I was making on YouTube, it was nowhere near enough to even cover the cost of a proper hotel for 2 or 3 nights. What I was making a month wasn't enough to even cover that back then. And I know I had people who reached out to me, Luke, you can stay here. People who donated money to me, like, here, Luke, here's a little bit of support. That went such a long way. I can think of back to other things and events in the world that happened that were very emotionally tiring and emotionally draining, it felt like, where I had people just reach out to me and be like, Luke, thank you for the message you're sharing. Or they shared or reposted the things I did. And that meant a lot to me. And I hope that you all can think of that and think of the people who you know who are reaching out. If you guys can think of the people you know who are really out there, they're out there. That's the easiest way to say it. Like the people who are out there, the people who are showing up, the people who are doing things that you're like, wow, that takes some courage to do. Because I think people who are courageous and put themselves out there, we don't get the support we always feel like we need. That's what makes us feel like we just are always fighting and doing it ourselves. And I think if you guys can just reach out to those people, and I know I'm rambling on a little bit, but I think it's important. If you can just reach out to those people and support them, I think that's sometimes one of the best things you can do. Now, as I'm here kind of following this, I actually have no idea where I am. Just wanted to bring you guys along. I want to say thank you for being here. I'm going to have some videos coming out soon. And any questions you guys have, I'd love if you could leave some of your questions in the comments below. That would mean a lot to me. Help me come up with some better ideas that would better serve you guys. But definitely have some videos coming out, especially right now. With everything that's going on in the world, I was like, I wanted to take a little break from YouTube. I was like, I gotta take like a week or two. haven't done that in about 6 years since I started. And now I feel like, oh, this is not the time to take a break. So, it is hot out here. But I want to thank you for being here. As always, thank you guys for joining me. Oh, wow, look at that. So cool. Now, but I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for joining me. Always showing your support. It really means a lot to me. I wish I could express to you how much it meant. I don't think you guys would ever understand. But it really means a lot, so I thank you. And oh, wow. It's like a little carnival. You never know what you're going to see here in Mexico. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love you all. Thanks for being here. And soon you guys will see soon some other videos that I have coming out that I hope will help inspire you guys, make you happy, and kind of make you realize that there is some good in the world left. And I think once you lose that and you start to think that it's too late or something I can do, I think that's when the true almost downfall happens, when we start to get that thought of like, there's nothing I can do, there's nothing really that matters, I can't really do so much, like there's always something going on. I don't think you can lose that spirit of wanting to help, of wanting to give, of wanting to do more, of wanting to be more, wanting to give more. I think it's that spirit that keeps the world going and keeps the sun shining. So thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you guys all later. In the meantime, everyone always remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.